Paramahamsa Parivrajagacharya Sutta Sadasman Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananda Koti Vaishnava Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Vilas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Se Kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakti Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Radha Krishna Gaur Vaishnava Tham Kund Radha Kundi Gaur Ki Jai Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Navadip Dham Ki Jai Ganga Mai Ki Jai Yamuna Mai Ki Jai Tulsi Devi Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Navadip Bhakti Vrinda Ki Jai. All glories to their Swami. All glories to their Swami. All glories to their Swami. Thank you very much.
Dehanosmin yata dehe, dehanosmin yata dehe, kumarang yovanang jara, kumarang yovanang jara, tata dehantara prapti, tata dehantara prapti, dhiras tatra namohyate, dhiras tatra namohyate. As the embodied soul continuously passes in this body from boyhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes into another body at death. The self-realized soul is not bewildered by such a change.
This simple thing, they cannot understand. Therefore, it is mentioned here, Dhira Sattanam. Dhira means sober, cool-headed man. And just the opposite is adhira. Adhira means third class, fourth class man. Or rascals. Adhira. Dhira means sober, just like the exact translation is gentleman, dhira. And those who are not gentlemen, uncultured, uneducated, rascal, they cannot understand. Otherwise, where is the difficulty? How plainly, how easily explain that Kaumara Jovanam Jana. There are three stages. Kaumara. Up to 15th year, it is called Kaumara. And then from 16th year, it begins youthful life up to 40th year. Then after 40, one becomes Jara, old man. Primarily old man and later on. Say 40 to 50, primarily old man. And after 50, he is old man. Therefore, it is advised, Panchasodham Vanam Vrajet. Panchas means 50. Urdham, 51. And rest of the days, maybe 100 years, but that is not possible nowadays. Maybe 70, 80, at most. Somebody lives 90, 95, 100 years, although the limit. Nowadays, nobody lives. So, those who are dhira, gentlemen, sober-headed, cool-headed, they can understand that I have changed my bodies. When I was a boy, up to 15th year, I remember how I was playing, I was jumping. Then I became young man, how I was enjoying my life with friends and families. Now I am old man. I am means my body, dehina. Dehi and Dehino. Dehi means the proprietor of the body, owner of the body. And Deha means the body. In the previous verse, Krishna said that all of us, you, me, and all these soldiers and kings who are present here, we existed in the past, we are existing now, and we shall continue to exist in the future. This was the statement. But rascals should say that how I was existing, I was born only in such and such year, before that I was not existing. At the present time I am existing, that's all right, but as soon as I die, I will not exist. Now Krishna says that I was, both, all of us, we are existing, we are still existing, and we shall continue to exist. Is that contradictory? No, that is not contradictory. It is fair. We shall we were existing maybe in different body, and we shall continue to exist in different body. Dehantara prapt. This is to be understood. Not that my existence. The example is given, Dehantara, just like I was boy, then I became young man. So the body changed. Now I have become old man, the body changed. But I am existing, the proprietor of the body. Where is the difficulty to understand? Dehina means of the proprietor. The body is changing. I can understand that my body has changed. So next life, the body may change, means not, it will change, but I may not remember. That is another thing. Just like in my last life, what was my body, I do not remember. So forgetfulness is our nature. Because I forget something, that does not mean the things did not take place. No. In my childhood, I did so many things, I do not remember. But my father, mother, who has seen my childhood, they remember. So forgetting does not mean that things did not take place. Similarly, death means I have forgotten what I was in the past life. That is called death. Otherwise, I, a spirit soul, I am not dead. Suppose I change my dress. In my boyhood, I was in a different dress. In my youthhood, I was in a different dress. In my old age, or as a sannyasi, I am in a different dress. The dress may change. That does not mean the owner of the dress is dead or gone. No. This simple thing, transmigration of the soul, is explained. And individual, all of us individual. There is no question of mixing together. Every one of us individual. God is individual, we are also individual. That we have explained yesterday. Nitya nityanam chetanas chetanam. Only difference is that God does not change his body. I change my body. That is also in this material world. When I shall go to the spiritual world, there is no more change of body. Eternal. As Krishna has got his eternal body, Satchidananda Vigraha, form, eternal, blissful of knowledge. Similarly, when you go back to home, back to Godhead, then we get also similar body, Satchidananda, Vigraha. Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha. That is the difference. When Krishna comes, he does not change his body. In this material world, Krishna does not change. Therefore his name is Achyuta. He never changes, he never falls down. Because he is the controller of Maya. And we are controlled by Maya. That is the difference. Material energy, we are controlled by the material energy. But Krishna is the controller of the material energy. Not only material energy, spiritual energy. All energies. Everything that we see, everything manifested, whatever we see, that is Krishna's energy. Just like heat and light is the energy of the sun. Similarly, Krishna's energies, there are many energies, but they have been divided principally into three. External energy, internal energy, and marginal energy. So we are living entities, we are marginal energy. Marginal means we may remain under the external energy or we may remain under the spiritual energy as we like. The independence is there. Jathechasi tatha kuru. Whatever you like, you can do. Krishna gives this independence to Arjuna. After describing Bhagavad Gita, he said, Jathechasi tatha kuru. He does not force. That is not good. Forceful thing will not stand. Just like we advise, rise early in the morning. This is advice. Not that I have to force everyone. That will a force, I may force one day, 2 days. But if one does not practice it, then simple force is useless. So similarly, Krishna does not force anyone to leave this material world. We all conditioned soul, material world, we are under the influence of the material energy. Krishna comes here to deliver us from these clutches of material energy, that you are suffering so much because we are part and parcel of Krishna or Krishna's son directly. And if the son is in difficulty, the father suffers also. Although father directly has no suffering. Suppose a son has become mad or nowadays hippie, the father is very sorry that my son is not living like a gentleman, he is living like a, what is called, wretch. So father is not happy. Similarly, we, the conditioned soul in this material world, we are suffering so much, living like wretches and rascals. So Krishna is not happy. Therefore he comes personally to teach us. Yada yada hi dharmasya glani bhavati tadatmanam srijamaham. So when Krishna comes, he comes in his original form. But unfortunately, we understand Krishna as one of us. He is one of us because he is father, we are son, one of us. But he is the chief. Nitya nityanam chetanas chetananam. He is more powerful, the most powerful, supreme powerful. We have got little power. That is the difference between Krishna. We cannot be equal. Nobody can be equal with Krishna or God or greater than him. Everyone under Krishna. Ekala Ishar Krishna Arsa Bhritta. Therefore, everyone is servant of Krishna. Krishna is the only master. Bhoktaram Jagadavasam Sarvaloka Mahesam. I am the India energy. I am the proprietor. Krishna says, that is the fact. So, we are changing our body, but Krishna does not change. One should understand this. The proof is that Krishna says, Vedaham Samititani. He remembers past, present and future. Just like Krishna says, Arjuna, the 4th chapter you will find, Krishna says that this philosophy of Bhagavad Gita I spoke to the sun god some 40 millions of years ago. How he remembers? Because he does not change his body. This is simple fact. We do not remember because we are changing body every moment. That is medical science. We are changing the corpuscles of blood every second. The body is changing imperceptibly. Imperceptibly body is changing. Therefore the father, mother cannot understand how the body is changing imperceptibly. But third person, if he comes all of a sudden and sees the child has grown very big, he says, oh, you have grown so big. But the father, mother does not see that he has grown so big. Because he is always seeing and the change is taking place very imperceptibly, every moment. Just like cinema, spool, the picture is changing. But it is changing in such a way, we are seeing that one man is dancing only. But his dancing means he is changing his body. He is changing his picture. Similarly, our body is also changing. But I am not changing, you are not changing. My body is changing. That is to be understood. Dehina svinjatha de kaumana jauvanam jana tatha dehantar. So we are all individual souls and we are eternal, but because we are changing body, therefore the birth, death, old age, disease, these are calculated. So our Krishna consciousness movement means that to get out of this changing position, come to the permanent. Because we are eternal. That should be the question. That everyone wants to live eternal. Nobody wants to die. Everyone. If I come before you with a revolver, I shall kill you. You shall immediately cry. Because you do not want to die. This is not very good business to die and take birth again. It is very troublesome. That I know imperceptibly. That if I die, I will have to take place again in the womb of the mother. And maybe nowadays mother killing the child within the womb. Then again another mother. This process is going on. So that trouble, being killed, to live within the womb of the mother, these things are very troublesome. We have got in the subconsciousness all this trouble. Therefore we do not want to die. Because we have to again accept another body. And the process of accepting the body is very long and very troublesome. We know all these things. Therefore we do not know. So therefore the question is that I am eternal, and why I have been put into this temporary life. This is intelligent. This is the problem. But this rascal, they have set aside this real problem. They are thinking how to eat, how to sleep, how to have sex, how to defend. Even if you eat nicely, if you sleep nicely, but ultimately you will have to die. The problem is there. But they are careless about this real problem. They are very much alert in the temporary problem. The temporary problem, actually there is no problem. The birds, beasts, they also eat, sleep. They have sexual intercourse and they defend. If they know all these things without becoming a human being, without having sufficient education or so-called civilization, how to live, how to sleep, how to defend, if they can live, so what is your problem? These things are not problems. The rascal says overpopulation, these are not at all problems. The real problem is that I do not want to die. Why death takes place? This is real problem. But the rascals do not know it. They think these are problems, temporary things. You will live for 50 years and maybe that will be explained in the next verse. Matra sparshasta konteya sitoshna sukha dukkha. Just like we are temporarily, we are faced with so many problems. Suppose there is severe cold. So, it is also a problem. We have to search out nice coat or fireplace, and these are problems. If they are not available, then we are in distress. These are problems also. But these problems are temporary. Severe cold, winter has come and it will go. That is not permanent problem. The permanent problem has been due to my ignorance. I am taking birth, I am accepting death, I am accepting disease, I am accepting old age. This is real problem. These are real problems. Therefore Krishna has said, Janma mittu jara vyadi dukkha doshanudarsana. Actually those who are in knowledge, they should see all these four problems. Birth, death, old age and disease. So tatha dehantram prati, Krishna said we existed in a different body. Now we are existing in a different body. And in the future also we shall all exist in a different body. Tatha dehantara prati. In this way, we are transmitting, migrating from one body to another, but we are existing. This is the sum and substance of this verse. Dehina asmin jatha dehi kaumanam jovanam jara tatha dehantara prati dhiratattamayi. So, dhiratattamayi, it is very simple thing. Suppose a young man, a boy, changes his bodily symptoms, just like a boy has no mustaches or beard, but all of a sudden the hairs grow. Does he cry, oh, why I am growing here? Why I am growing? Because that is the necessary change of body. Why should we be perplexed? Why my body is changing? Similarly, my body is changing, this body to another body, I am dying. Why shall I be perplexed? The intelligence is that what kind of body I am going to get. That is intelligence. Otherwise, why one should be perplexed? Dehantara prati. If you prepare yourself, just like in childhood, boyhood, if you prepare yourself nicely educated, then you get nice job, nice situation, you'll be happy. Preparation for the next life. Similarly, if you prepare yourself in this life for going back to home, back to Godhead, then where is perplexity? There is no perplexity. I am going to Krishna, I am going back to home, back to Godhead. Now I will have not to change material body. I will have my spiritual body. I shall now play with Krishna, dance with Krishna, eat with Krishna. This is Krishna consciousness. This is Krishna consciousness. Prepare yourself for the next life. Don't be, the people, the man, dying man cries because maybe he's dreaming next life, horrible life. Because according to karma, those who are very, very sinful, they cry because they see horrible sins at the time of death, and he's going to accept some type of body. But those who are pious, those who are devotees, they are dying without any anxiety. They are dying. The death may take place. The example is giving that foolish people may say that you devotees, you are dying, and the sinful man or non-devotees, they are also dying. So where is the difference? No, there is difference. There is difference. This has been described by the example. Just like a cat catches its cub and catches the mouse. Formally we see that the cat has caught the mouse in the mouth and the cub also in the mouth, but there are difference of catching. The cub is feeling pleasure. My mother is carrying me. And the mouse is feeling death knell. Oh, now I am going to die. This is the difference. So although a devotee is dying and non-devotee is dying, there is difference of feeling at the time of death. Like the mouse and the cat. And don't consider that both of them are dying in the same process. The process may be same, but the situation is different. Taktadeham punarjanma naiti, mamiti kaunteya. This is formula is there. Krishna says, Janma karma me dibbam jujanati tattva. See, simply if you try to understand what is Krishna, dibbam, they are all divine, transcendental. Krishna's activities, Krishna's appearance, Krishna's worship, Krishna's temple, Krishna's glories, everything transcendental. So, if one understands these things, or try to understand, even he does not understand, tries to understand, then he becomes liberated from this process of birth and death. Krishna says. So we become very serious to understand Krishna and remain in Krishna consciousness. Then this problem, birth, death, old age and disease will be solved automatically, very easily. There will be no problem. That is the function of the human life. To understand that I am eternal. Krishna says that in the past we existed, in the present we are existing, and in the future we shall continue to exist. Then, why I have got this type of body by which I am actually, not actually, superficially, I am not existing. So this is the problem. A dhiro means a sober man will think of this problem. I want to live. Why death takes place? I want to live very healthy life. Why disease comes? I don't want to become old man. Why old age comes? Janma mrityu jara vyadhi. These are the problems. So solve this problem simply by taking to Krishna consciousness. Simply by understanding Krishna. And for understanding Krishna, the Bhagavad Gita is there. So nicely explained. So make your life successful. That I am not this body. Simply I am not this body. I am embodied within this body. Encased. But I am not this cage. Just like a bird is within the cage. The cage is not the bird. But foolish person, they are taking care of the cage. not of the bird. The bird out of starvation suffering. So we are suffering spiritual starvation. Therefore nobody is happy in this material world. It's spiritual starvation. Therefore you see in an opulent country like America, enough food, enough residence, enough material enjoyment, still they are becoming hippies all over the world. They are not satisfied because it is spiritual starvation. Materially we may be very opulent, but if you starve spiritually, you cannot be happy. This is the process. So, spiritual rejuvenation required. Aham Brahmasmi. I am not this body. I am Brahma, spiritual soul. Then you will be happy. Brahma bhuta prasannatma nasochati nakang. Samas sarveshu. Then there will be equality, fraternity, brotherhood. Otherwise it is all bogus, simply high sounding words. There cannot be all these things. Come to the spiritual platform. Brahma bhuta prasannatma nasochati samas sarveshu bhuteshu. Then you can see equally. Otherwise you will see that I have become human being, I have got my hands and legs, and the poor cow has no hands and legs, killing and eat. No, sama, sarveshu, asamata, inequality. Why? What right you have got to kill another animal? Because you have no vision of equality. For want of Krishna consciousness. Therefore, so-called education, culture, fraternity in this material world, all these are bogus humbug. Simply Krishna consciousness is the right subject matter to be studied by sane, sober, dhiro, then the society will be happy. Otherwise, no. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. How did Prabhupada define Dhira? Yes, Vishwagiti bro.
Gentleman or sober person?
Cool-headed also. Sober, cool-headed and gentleman. Hari Bol. What were the ages Prabhupada explained for Kaumar, Kaumaram, Yauvan and Jara? Yes.
Kaumar is from up to 15th year, then youth is from 16 to 40, then primary old age 40 to 50, and then after 50 really old.
Oh. So Prabhupada said, Dhira, gentleman, sober-headed, cool-headed man, they understand. What do they understand? Yes.
I have changed many bodies. So, like, why should I again keep on changing these bodies?
I was a young man, I was boy, I was jumping. Then I became young man, I'm enjoying life with friends, family. Now I am old man. He understands all things. Hari Bol. What is Dehi and what is Dehinaha? Yes.
Dehi means body, Dehi means proprietor of body and
Deha and Dehina.
Yeah. Dehi is body and Dehinam is proprietor of.
Dehi means proprietor of the body and Dehina means the body.
Deha is the body and Dehi is the proprietor of the body. So Dehina is that whatever case of that. Hari Bol. What do the rascals say about this Dehantar, etc.? And how did Prabhupada refute? Yes.
The rascals say that they think that earlier they were not existing, they took birth, and after their death they shall cease to be existing.
Okay, Shiv Kumar Krishna Prabhu.
When it is told that you were existing before, so he tells that I was born on such and such date.
So how did Prabhupada refute that?
So Prabhupada was telling that if we forget, it does not mean that the event did not take place. So he was telling that in the childhood we might forget the activities, but the parents remember. So we might forget, but
And also we were existing in another body.
we were existing in another.
Haribo! So I do not remember that example of childhood activities we don't remember. So forgetfulness is our nature. Forgetting does not mean that things did not take place. What did Prabhupada say about Lord and us as far as Nityo Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam? Yes, Sudhamana Prabhu.
Prabhupada said that we are forgetful because our body is changing at every moment, we forget everything. And God never changes his body, that's the reason he remembers everything that has happened in past. So even he remembers Bhagavad Gita which he spoke millions of years ago.
Haribo! So in this context only Prabhupada said that what is the name of the Lord as far as he is not forgetting, and some characteristic also he told about of Lord and Jiva.
So Lord's name seen in this context is Achyuta, which means he never forgets and he never changes his body.
Okay, that is half the answer. And the remaining part? He is the controller of Maya and we are controlled by Maya. Haribo! What is marginal energy? What is marginal? Yes, Sadhu Sanchetan Prabhu.
Marginal means that who is under the control of external energy, or he can be under the control of internal energy. So it is up to him. So independence is given.
Haribo! That's why Krishna said to Arjun, Yathechasvi tatha karu, as you wish you may do. What did Prabhupada say about force in this context? Yes.
Prabhupada used the word useless nonsense for force. If we force anyone, he said that if I tell you to get up every day morning, 1 day, 2 days, 3 days is okay. But if it is like every day, then you are not able to perform it. Then it's useless nonsense. He says like that. Similarly, Krishna did not force Arjuna. He said, Yatha ichchasi tatha kuru. He gave the freedom.
Forceful thing will not stand. Haribo! That useless and all things he said. That was only okay. How did Prabhupada explain the relationship between father and son? Yes.
Prabhupada was telling that when the son is like suffering, he was giving example of hippies. So, so they may not be able to understand, but the father, he actually feels the suffering. So he was giving example. Similarly, the living entities who are there in the material world, they are suffering and they are engaged in their own material activities. But Krishna is not happy with this.
Because Krishna is
their father. He's
not like their father. He is their father. Not like. Haribo! What is the proof that Krishna does not change his body? He does not change. He is the same all throughout. Some 2 examples with little verse, part of the verse. Yes, Ashok Prabhu.
One example is that he told that he gave this in knowledge of Bhagavad Gita 40 million years ago to the sun god. So that is one of the proof. And second,
Yes.
He quoted a verse Vedaham Samatityani Vartamani cha Arjuna.
What does it mean?
I know the past, present and future. And
Haribo. What is medical science saying about changing a body? Yes, Antardip Prabhu.
Every second we are changing the body. It is happening imperceptibly, but actually it is happening. And a person, when he comes, third person comes, then you are able to detect. But the parents are not able to see that because they are seeing continuously the change.
Changing body means we are changing the corpuscles of blood.
Blood corpuscles, yes.
Haribo. One more example Prabhupada gave. Yes, Kirti Krishna. Kirti Gopal Prabhu.
He was telling the example of the movie. The person, hand is moving or the person is moving there. Actually, it is not moving, it's only film. That is moving means we are thinking that the person is moving means it's changing. It's a next film. And so that's what Prabhupada said.
Cinema school. That way my body also. Haribo. There is some calculation because of our changing bodies. What is that calculation? Sudhavanath Prabhu.
Prabhupada said calculation is of birth, old age, disease and death.
Haribo. And he said, so our Krishna conscious movement means that to get out of this changing position, come to the permanent. What is stored in our subconsciousness? Yes, sir.
What is stored in the subconscious? That we are changing this body. Something.
Yes, so little more details.
Change.
Prabhupada was saying that in the we have what is stored in the subconsciousness is the previous experience previous experience that we have died. Somebody has killed us, and also the experience that we were in the womb of the mother. So we don't want to have that. That's why we don't want to die. So Prabhupada was saying that this is stored in the subconsciousness.
Haribo. So sometimes we might have been killed and we were in the womb of the mother. These things are very troublesome. We have undergone that trouble and we have got in the subconsciousness all this trouble. Therefore, we do not want to die because we have to again accept another body. And the process of accepting the body is very long and very troublesome. We know all these things. Therefore, we do not want. About Prabhupada said about materialistic people, what are they careless for and what are they careful about? Yes.
Materialistic people always care about eating, sleeping, and sense gratification, sex life, etc. But these are temporary anxieties. But they are not careful about birth and death and how to get about beyond of birth and death. And they are not worrying about this real business of Krishna consciousness.
They are careless about the real problems and they are very much alert in the temporary problems. Haribo. So Prabhupada gave some more example of their anxieties, what they are anxious about and how it is bogus. Yes, Shivakumar Krishna.
One problem he was telling about overpopulation, that this overpopulation is creating a lot of difficulty. He was also telling about starvation, that there is starvation in the world.
That is connected to overpopulation only. One more thing was about severe cold.
Yeah.
So one may do temporary things for that, but the real problem is birth, old age, disease, death. Haribol. this about severe cold, Prabhupada said that will come and it will go. That is not permanent problem. Permanent problem has been due to my ignorance. I am taking my birth. I am accepting death. I am accepting disease, and I am accepting old age. This is real problem. Janma mrityu jara vyadi dukkha doshanu darshanam. What is the sum and substance of this verse? Okay, Prabhu.
That we were existing, we are existing, and we will continue to exist.
Haribo! In Prabhupada's words, in this way we are transmigrating from one body to another, but we are existing. This is the sum and substance of this verse. What? Prabhupada told about how dhiras tatrana muyati, very practical example from our life. How we also act as dhira in some situation, but then not some other situation. Yes, Raghuguru Babu.
Prabhupada is telling that our body keeps changing. So like a boy may be becoming a youth, so he will be getting the mustache and beard and all that. So he's not perplexed because he knows the body is changing. Same way, the old age may come and the death may come that way. So he knows that the body is changing anyway. So he's not perplexed.
Prabhupada said body is growing. The growth
Yeah, body is growing.
Haribo. Only Prabhupada gave a little more understanding. Yes, Antadipro.
He told just like a child prepares nicely, then he has a good job and all in future. So he does not get any trouble.
He does not get into trouble.
Doesn't get perplexed. But and similarly, if we prepare our next life to go back to God, then we will be playing with Krishna, eating with Krishna, dancing with Krishna. So we won't have any problem. So then we will not be perplexed.
Haribo. This is Krishna consciousness. Prepare yourself for the next life. What is the status of a dying man, some ordinary dying man and a pious man? Yes.
So he's not, the pious man or devotee is not fearful because he knows it. He says that example of cat and Prabhupada gives the example of.
And dying man?
Dying man
sorry,
is,
the other one?
I think he's in anxiety. What body I'll get and like how will I die when I'll land?
Haribo. So the one who had been sinful, that dying man cries because maybe he is dreaming next life, which is horrible life. And pious man, those who are devotees, they are dying without any anxiety. Then Prabhupada gave example when people accuse or people say that devotees are dying, outsiders are dying. What is the difference? Yes, Imam Shubru.
Prabhupada gave example of cat catching a mouse and a cub. So for cub it's very pleasing, but for mouse it's like death. So
Haribo. So Prabhupada said, what is the difference then? Ordinary person dying and devotee dying. Yes, Chindu.
Process may be same, but situations are different.
And
So
the difference is in feeling, how they feel. Materialistic person at the time of death, he will feel horrible. Whereas the devotee, he just knows, he's just changing, I'm going to Krishna. Haribol! So, who will become liberated? Two types of people. Yes. You know? Okay.
Prabhupada told that who will be coming out from this real problem.
Okay, no problem.
Who will be coming out from this real problem, he will be liberated.
Who will be coming out?
From real problems.
Okay, little more. That is one. Yes. Tribangopal.
Prabhupada also says one who is in knowledge, he also becomes liberated.
Yes. Raghav Babu.
One who understands Krishna, he says. One who understands Krishna.
Understands
Janma
Krishna.
karma-
So that is one category. There is one more. Yes. Davjinityam Prabhu. One who is even trying to understand Krishna seriously. Haribo! So all these things, Taktva Punarjanma Naiti, Janma Karma Chame Divyam, that Krishna's activity, they are all divine, transcendental. Krishna's activities, Krishna's appearance, Krishna's worship, Krishna's temple, Krishna's glories, everything is transcendental. So if one understands these things or try to understand, even if he does not understand, tries to understand, then he becomes liberated from this process of birth and death. Krishna says, so become very serious to understand Krishna and remain in Krishna consciousness. Then the problem of birth, old age, disease, death will be solved automatically. For understanding Krishna, what is there? Yes, Vijay Bro.
Should be serious to know Krishna and remains in Krishna consciousness.
For understanding Krishna, something is there, Prabhupada said. Vitthal Vishnu.
So Prabhupada told that to understand Krishna, there is Bhagavad Gita.
Haribo! For understanding Krishna, the Bhagavad Gita is there, so nicely explained. In fact, all the discussion is based on Bhagavad Gita only. For then, what is spiritual starvation? Prabhupada gave example. Yes, Sudhamanath Prabhu.
Prabhupada gave the example of cage and bird, that one thinks the cage to be bird itself and does not feed the bird. Same way modern civilization is trying to solve the material problems without even understanding the real problems. So it's leading to a spiritual starvation.
Hippies example also he gave. In country like America, there is enough food, enough residence, enough material enjoyment, but still they are becoming hippies. They are not satisfied. Haribo! Materially, we may be very opulent, but if you starve spiritually, you cannot be happy. What are the bogus, simply high sounding words? Okay. Amit Pro.
Fraternity, unity, brotherhood.
Haribo! So many people talk about all these social welfare workers, equality, fraternity, brotherhood. Otherwise, it is Prabhupada, it is all bogus, simply high sounding words. One has to come to the level of Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma na shochati na kankshati samaha sarveshu bhuteshu. So they don't reach that level and they just keep talking about all these other things. And because they have no vision of equality in actuality, though they talk about it, what happens? And thirdly, Prabhu.
They kill the cow. They can't see that she's also equal to.
Haribo. And what was the conclusion of the lecture? Final message.
Simply Krishna consciousness is the right thing to be studied and everything is bogus.
Then one will become, if one studies Krishna consciousness, he will become sane, sober, dhira. Then the society will be happy, otherwise not. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai Jai Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भगवद गीता की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की, समवेत गौर भक्तवृंद की, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदी।
सद्मसुकल्पवृक्षा लक्षावृतेषु सुरभिरभिपालयन्तम् लक्ष्मी सहस्रशतसम्भ्रमसेरमा